Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling, and this is our bracket series. The series where we take a certain wrestling category, do a random draw, put them into a tournament, and decide the best, the worst, or whatever we are looking at. I am joined today by the babyest, the youngest, and the babyest of all the Sams, so much so that the thing we're talking about today, you weren't even born when it started, and neither was I. Wow. We're both young. Babies, Sams.
I think...
Babies, we're young together.
One is not the same as the other here. Well, I think you were around during...
I'm sorry, you sound way too much like Sesame Street. Well, one of these things is not like the other.
Well, one of us was around for the industrialisation of Britain, ultimately, and I was also a 90s kid. So how is it?
I will not grant you 90s council. I'm not having it.
Well, I am.
What we are looking at today is what is the greatest SummerSlam. Full stop, end of story. We're actually just doing all of the SummerSlams. There are 37 SummerSlams to go through, which actually means we're going to have 5
Yes.
I was going to say pre-show matches then.
God, no, we're not doing the pre-shows.
We've got 5 matches to go before we get to our 32. Here's how it works. We'll take all the SummerSlams, we're going to put them into a random draw. One of us is going to be the judge. That is going to be me, because I think I've probably got the main memory of SummerSlam. But Sam has the power of veto.
Yes.
If he completely disagrees with something I have decided, he can veto it, and whatever he decides will go through automatically. He can do it as many times as he wants of his 5 vetoes. However, he can't do it for the semi-final, final, and he can't do it for the same one more than twice. So he can't just put SummerSlam 95 all the way to the final.
I don't think I will.
There's my point. But before we get into the best SummerSlams of all time, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let's go and find out what is the best SummerSlam of all time. Starting with the opening 5 matches. So our first pre-show kind of match, I'm calling them pre-shows now, I've decided to get through to the main 32. It's 1988, the first ever one, has popped out versus SummerSlam 2002.
Sorry, 88.
We won't talk about it too much, but let's talk about just a couple of things from 88 before it gets cast asunder. The main event,
Was it Mega Powers?
Mega Powers versus Andre and Ted DiBiase. It's alright. But that's not the moment of 1988 SummerSlam. The moment of 1988 SummerSlam is the Ultimate Warrior winning the Intercontinental Championship off the Honky Tonk Man. The crowd go mental. If you want to hear a loud response, go and watch that. But I don't think we need to discuss it that much because it was okay. SummerSlam 2002 might do quite well. We'll talk about that one a bit later. We've got 1989 versus 2022. Triple H's first ever pay-per-view. Vince had gone the week prior.
Yes.
I don't even think he had a Raw or SmackDown before it. And then suddenly he's got this. And he started off kicking off and went, oh, you know these 2 people who have been released or about to be released in Io Sky and Dakota Kai, they are now on telly.
Imagine if Io Sky had been released.
She was on the verge. Vince didn't see it.
You are joking.
Vince didn't see it. Vince said, I don't see her as a star. She's an NXT person. I don't see it. That is the level we're talking at here. That's how much of an idiot he is. And I'm not saying Triple H, all these people he brought back were correct. 89 is an interesting one because the main event is starring an actor playing the role he played in the movie.
I think I know which one's going to win.
It's Zeus, who can't work.
WCW
brought him back in 95.
Of course they did. Because he's ex-WWE, of course.
Even though he isn't, he's just an actor. We've got the Warrior versus Rick Rude for the IC title. Happens in that. But the thing I remember from 89 is Ronnie Garvin. You might not even know who that is. No. And he literally he's in a feud with Valentine. I don't even know who Valentine's face is. And Garvin comes out as the special announcer and essentially just starts taking the mick out of Valentine as he's doing it and changing the finish of renouncing who he didn't win and stuff, even though he won. It's actually really funny. But I think we're going to go with 2022. Because there is also a very good main event that we'll probably talk about a little bit more, and a very good heel turn, I believe, happens on the same night. Oh, no, it's building to the heel turn, isn't it? That happens at the next month. Oh, so we will talk about that later. So 2022 is going through to the next one. We've got 1990 versus 2003. 2003, famously, Goldberg wins the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Kane RVD.
Yeah.
Shane versus Eric Bischoff.
They
can't all be belters.
No.
But 1990 is a really meh SummerSlam.
Was it the Slaughter?
No. This is, the main event is Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude. Literally just done it the year prior in a cage. No one cared. Hogan and Earthquake. Hogan beats Earthquake and Earthquake...
Literally, who cares? I think we know.
We love Earthquake, but what I will like to mention is, in this, is Dusty Rhodes and Savage are in a feud. And you think to yourself, That's a feud. That's a great one. They had a 2-minute match. Because they were feuding about... Dusty Rhodes had brought in, like, a friend called Sapphire, baby. And I have no connection, but Ted DiBiase kind of, like, bought her. So I think it might be Ted DiBiase, not Randy Savage, sorry. But has bought Sapphire. This just normal woman. And she's, like, now covered in, like, jewels and, like, a fur coat. And he was like... And Dusty's running after the limo. It's really weird.
Right.
It's so strange. Should we go 2003?
I think so.
SummerSlam 2003. These pre-show matches really just... They all popped out the old ones. I was like, oh, guys, I'm sorry about that. 1995 versus 1992.
Literally wouldn't have mattered what you'd said. When you said 95, the other one's going to win.
Against Wembley. It's against Wembley. But Mabel versus Diesel. One of the greatest SummerSlam main events of all time. But what people forget about that... It's Shawn Razor 2. The ladder match. Shawn Razor. Everyone, just remember, we are talking about the whole pay-per-view.
No, of course.
And this is the thing we're going to be getting, because there's going to be some pay-per-views that got an incredible match on it. And SummerSlam always seem to have an incredible match. And 1995 is an example of that. Shawn Razor 2 is, quite frankly, brilliant. It really, really, really is. But I'll also point out on the same card, Barry Horowitz has an 11-minute match.
Sam, you can't say anything to 795. I'm sorry. It has
Wembley
to be.
92 isn't as good as people think it is.
No, agreed.
It's just very famous, but I've watched this show numerous times. It's...
Yeah.
So, we'll put it through for now. 1992 Wembley is going to beat 1995. Our final pre-show match is 1996 versus 2008. 2008 is not a great show.
It's not great. No.
It's not a brilliant show. It has one of the best SummerSlam main events, probably, in Undertaker versus Edge and Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
That's a fabulous match. 96, probably the most famous thing, is also Undertaker again. It's Mankind in the Boiler Room Brawl.
Oh, is that what that is? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the, let's call it a heat match, pre-show match in 1996, Sam?
Who knows?
I'll tell you what. They're both very famous wrestlers.
Right.
One to become famous, and one who's just been very famous.
It's going to be Stone Cold.
He is in the pre-show.
Is it Jake Roberts?
Yokozuna.
Ooh.
They went 2 minutes.
Wow. What a 2 minutes.
That was their pre-show. Wow. Stone Cold had just won King of the Ring.
Wow, and they didn't have him on...
Yeah, this is one thing. People think, the Austin era has begun. He's done this. No. They still didn't push him. Even though he won the Rumble in 97, and quite frankly, they didn't push him then either, even though he won the Rumble because he didn't go to Mania. It's not great. The rest of the card, it's Michael's Vader. Michael's throwing a paddy. I think 08 does still beat it, but it's not a great show itself. Is that Batista Cena's first ever match?
It is. Cena hurts himself.
Is that off a powerbomb dive
Batista,
thing?
he just goes to the leg drop off the top.
Yeah, we'll go into 08 a bit more, but I think because of that main event is way better than that main event. Boiler Room Brawl's good. I really like the Boiler Room Brawl, but I think 08 is going to go through. Our first match of round one. It's 2011 versus 1991. 2011, Sam, talk me through it. It's your era.
You got Punk Cena. Obviously, you're not a big fan of the finish, but a great match. Event.
It's a great match. Hate the finish.
Yep. And then you've got Orton Christian, absolute belter.
That's the match of the night.
You also have Mark Henry and Sheamus, and actually a very good match.
And a very good match.
And the great finish as well.
It's like Sheamus' babyface turn.
Yes.
In that sense.
Yeah, and everyone's really behind him. They do Mark Henry just the world's strongest slam through the barricade, and it's not the usual barricade that they break either.
No, it's the one over there.
You don't think it's going to happen. It just goes bang. That's great. I think it was either a double count on or Mark Henry won.
I think Mark might have got back into the ring.
It was a count out.
So it was definitely a count out. Who did Wade Barrett face?
In 2011?
Yep.
Or was it Kofi?
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, was it?
Do you have any memory of this match at all?
No.
Neither do I.
Sounds good.
Problem with SummerSlam is they throw in a lot of mid-card.
They do.
You get a lot of like Kofi versus MVP type things. 1991. What can you tell me about 91, Sam?
Got a lot.
It's Heaven and Hell. It's the marriage of Randy Savage and Liz, which was... And it went off without a hitch. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
They got married in the middle of the main event.
Wasn't it? Didn't Jake Roberts bring his snake out and...
That was post-show.
What?
It wasn't on the show. The snake thing wasn't on the show. It was like an extra. It was like an exclusive. And then they put it on Superstars afterwards. It wasn't on SummerSlam. The main event ended with Randy Savage and Liz getting married and going off into the sunset, even though they were having actual problems. And the actual wrestling main event was the Death Triangle or whatever they were called, like the Mustafa, Adnan.
This is a very straightforward decision.
Sarge Daughter versus Warrior and Hogan. It was an interesting one because you also had, and this is what people forget, they had some other very, very, very good matches, though. We've got the fun one with the Mountie versus Big Boss Man, when the winner is the Jailhouse Rock and the winner has to get sent to prison. And there's loads of skits, really funny. The Mountie's doing things, he's getting his finger taped and he swears at them, and then they then process his middle finger, really good. He obviously does it's 1991, so we have to have a gay prison joke, obviously. Really, really, really funny. We've also got, I'm just trying to remember, there is a big match on there that I really like. Oh! Ted DiBiase versus Virgil, the crowd going mental, Virgil winning the $1 million match. This actually is way closer than we realised. Oh, Brett Perfect for the Intercontinental Championship. This is way tighter than you think.
I'd still say 2011.
I'm going 91, Sam.
You know.
This is way better. The main event sucks.
Yeah, brings it down.
And I hate the main event of 2011. Outside of Christian versus Randy, which is brilliant, what else is actually amazing on this show? Because we have a good main event that's ruined, whereas these guys have a main event. But then the Savage, it's really famous. It's really lovely done with the post-show, obviously, that happens. Brett Perfect is incredible. I love the Mountie stuff with Big Boss Man. And Virgil's big culmination that they did nothing with the $1 million man.
Everything that you say makes sense. However, what you've got on this card is you've got Prime CM Punk and you've got the Mark Henry Hall of Pain run. Both things I very much like, and Santino might be in here as well.
Yeah.
So
no, Glamourella isn't this year.
It's not to do with Glamourella.
Well, yeah, but I remember Santino was definitely there. So are you vetoing over 91? Because I'm picking 91.
Yeah, I think I'm vetoing that.
I can't believe 2011 beats one of the hottest years in wrestling in 91. Why? Because you're not even born. You're not. I mean, I'm not born either.
Oh, I was born in the same decade. I'm a 90s kid.
I was born 3 months later.
Well, congratulations.
No, a month later.
Oh, wow.
But I think you're wrong, and I'm furious that 91 is going out this early because it's way better than 2011.
I have spoken.
2006 versus 1997. Let's talk about 1997. It's only remembered for one thing: Stone Cold breaking his neck.
That's this pay-per-view.
And he had to win because the stipulation was the winner had to kiss the other one's ass.
And you can't have Austin.
And you can't have Austin do that. So yeah, this happened on this show.
Whoa.
There was also another random gimmick, which was Triple H versus somebody. Who did Triple H face? Mankind, and I think the winner had to wear a dress.
Big stakes in the SummerSlam.
I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. And obviously, the main event is a good main event with
Brett Taker.
Brett Taker with Shawn Michaels costing Taker, that's leading to their Montreal Screwjob. It's a good show with an awkward show, but 2006 isn't great.
No, it's not.
Talk me through 2006.
So you got Cena Edge, but
it's screwy finish. Edge hits him with brass knuckles, I think, at the end of it.
Which isn't great for a SummerSlam.
No.
And then Batista Booker ends in a DQ.
Awful.
And also, isn't this Triple H Cardio? Is that 07?
No, it's 07.
What's Triple H doing?
DX versus the McMahons.
It's
not great.
Not classic, is it?
Should we be honest here? I think 91 would have beaten 2006.
Yes.
Should we go, even though the sad thing, the main event's so good and Triple H and Mankind still have a great match. Should we go 97 here?
I don't see why not. Because
I don't think so. There's
06.
nothing in 06.
There really is.
What else have we got here? Big Show, Sabu, Hogan, Randy. No! Oh, we have to talk about this. Ric Flair versus Mick Foley in an I Quit match.
Oh.
And it ends because Mick Foley quits because he's going to hit Melina. Why is she there? Because Melina is Mick's friend. Mick's heel, remember?
Right.
And he's going to hit Melina. So it's a heel saying, I quit because you're going to hit a woman. And then Melina turns on Mick anyway, turning him babyface because they're both heels. I'm 97.
Yeah, 97.
97's going through. 2014 versus 2019. 2019, we've got Goldberg versus Dolph.
Random little match in 2019.
I
love the sell.
Fiend versus Balor. I think this is Fiend's debut.
That was great.
Fiend's debut.
Really good.
You've got Seth Brock in a who cares main event.
That's exactly what the stipulation was.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Flair Trish. Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus.
No, sorry.
Really good.
No.
Kofi Randy ends in a no contest. Owens and Shane. Tell me about 2014, because at the moment 2019 I'm not there.
Yeah.
2014, Sam.
2014 you got Lesnar and Cena.
Which is incredible.
Unbelievable main event. And you got Roman Randy, which isn't great.
Brie.
Good finish.
Steph.
Oh no.
Which was really good. The crowd were hot, ended badly.
Yeah.
The Nikki turn makes no sense.
I wish you died in the womb.
I mean, that happened afterwards at least.
No, but it makes me think of it.
It does make me think of it.
But Dean and Seth have a really good lumberjack match.
Yes, those
two said really good, and lumberjack match shouldn't go together as well.
As much as I hate the finish of the Steph Brie match, it actually is really as good as they could do. It's Brie's best ever match, and I would argue it's up there for Steph, at least from a singles standpoint anyway. Yeah. I think this is 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
There's only so many times I can watch Goldberg spear Dolph Ziggler. 2014, 1994 versus 2016. I'll tell you about 1994, Sam. You've got, first of all, Taker versus Fake Taker.
Okay, I think we know who's winning already.
That match sucks.
Yeah.
Why did it main event? However, it had the guy from Naked Gun. It had Leslie Nielsen in it, looking for the real Taker. It's great. Honestly, really entertaining. I absolutely love it. But the most famous match from there is Bret and Owen's cage match. Now, I don't like it.
Sure.
Now, the reason I don't like it is not because it's Bret, and you know I'm not a fan of Bret.
That's why I thought you did.
No, the problem I have with this match is if this was Bret versus Perfect, Razor Ramon, whatever, and they had the identical match, I would love it.
You thought because it's too personal a feud and
they kept trying to escape the cage.
Right.
That was all there was. The gimmick was them trying to stop the other one getting out of the cage. I'm like, this is the problem with cage matches in the 90s. It wasn't I need to keep you guys together. They were trying to run away. And I'm like, Bret shouldn't be running away from Owen. Bret should be wanting to beat up Owen, and Owen should be wanting to beat up Bret. I don't mind Owen maybe going for cage to go, I'm going to desperately try and beat you. But I don't like it because I think it makes no sense. However, just generally, it's a very good match.
Yeah.
And you've also got Alundra Blaze versus Paul Nucano, and yeah, I love fucking Paul Nucano. Tell me about 2016, Tom.
Well, you got AJ Styles versus John Cena.
I mean, it's an alright match.
It's
Just
alright,
suppose it's not been voted John Cena's best ever match by us on another brackets episode.
So it's a decent little start.
But what else happens? Because you got Charlotte and Sasha have a terrible match where she drops on the top rope, if I recall.
Yeah.
You got Ambrose and Ziggler have just rubbish for the WWE title. Brock and Orton's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And not in the way it was 2 years prior. It was uncomfortable. So much so that Jericho confronted Brock afterwards. Jericho debut on the show.
The only thing I remember of that match is Kevin Owens doing the Enzo tournament, which is hilarious.
And Balor and Rollins, and no one cares.
Well, no one cares because of the title, but it was actually a very good match.
It sucks.
I
it sucks. The match sucks.
Balor
dislocates his shoulder immediately. No, it wasn't.
I thought it was later on.
No, you've completely misremembered. It's like 6-7 minutes in, and then all he does is drop kicks for the rest of the night. This is
Balor, that's Balor, to be fair.
Yeah, no, but he only can do drop kicks and coup de grace. That's all he's got left. This match sucks. Sam, I hate 2016.
Do you?
I think it sucks because, and I think if it wasn't for one of the greatest matches in SummerSlam history being on the card, I don't think we'd be talking about it. If you take that match away, Sam, what have you got left?
Yeah, but you don't take it away because it's there.
So no. I'm
asking.
asking.
What you mean.
We've talked about this before. In literally the beginning, we said we cannot just base it on one match.
I'm not basing it off one.
And we've got
but
Bret and Owen
is
as one.
important.
Put them together. I think SummerSlam 94 is better. You got
Well, if you
Blaze
take-
and Nakano. That's my point. That's way better than anything else on here. Taker was a spectacle, even though the match was awful.
Bad.
It was a spectacle. It was Taker's return. Everyone loved that. It was just
Yeah,
not
but
great.
all fans loved everything in the early 90s because they thought it was real, so you can't go off that.
Do you know what? I'm going to put 2016 through for you. So
thank you.
But at the end of the day, Sam, it sucks and I hate it, bar John Cena and AJ Styles. The rest of the card is awful.
I think it may struggle against stronger opponents.
Oh, I thought it was awful. If that match wasn't there, I would have been so put off. Particularly Charlotte versus Sasha, because that match died a death
Didn't
really
they have,
fast.
Did Alexa Bliss win the women's title? Did Becky win the women's title? It was like a 6-way and...
Maybe, I
was
can't
kinda
remember. But nah. 2002, it's got 2003. They've come through the pre-show to face each other, unbelievably.
Belter.
2003, Sam, it's a load of nothing, and then the card kicks off.
Right.
Triple H winning, Sam, in the main event.
Great, is it?
But by the way, this Elimination Chamber is great fun. It's really good fun. I don't like Elimination Chamber, as you know, but this was still new and fresh. And they were doing some of the best spots. Goldberg punching his way through the glass. Awesome. Kane and RVD don't have as good a match as you think they should do. This is Kane's first match after the mask. Shane takes on Eric Bischoff because they were like, oh god, we've got to do Kane RVD because he's just split from Kane, but Kane and Shane is actually storyline because we've already jumped the gun to get Shane involved because he's already Tombstone Linda. So that's a bit of a mess. Angle and Brock have an absolute barnstormer.
Because it's Angle and Brock.
However, 2002...
Yes.
we've got Triple H, Shawn Michaels in one of the best matches of all time. We've got Brock and Rock having one of the best main events of all time. You've got the opening match, which is one of the best opening matches of all time, in Angle versus Rey Mysterio. I love 2003.
Isn't
Edge versus Eddie Guerrero have a sleeper match, and we get to you got Jericho, Ric Flair, Undertaker take on Test, and ends the Un-Americans completely. Yeah. There's a weird thing with Lillian Garcia and a wig wearing Howard Finkel. Because I think he ran away and left it a 3-minute warning.
Right.
And then Trish and him... There was no women's match on the card, by the way. This is the only time women are on the card. And they kick him in the nuts and walk off. 2002?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Sorry, 2003. However, you shouldn't have had Triple H win. So, this is your punishment for, this is your punishment. 2015 versus the one that came through at pre-show with 2008. Let's go through 2008 a little bit more before we get that. So we've got Triple H Carly.
Not a good start, is it?
CM Punk JBL.
It's not amazing. Is that World Heavyweight Championship?
Yep. We've got Matt Hardy versus Mark Henry for the ECW Championship, and it goes how long, Sam?
17 minutes.
33 seconds.
Really? Wait, what happens? Match just wins.
Match just ends. Match just wins, yeah.
It beats Mark Henry in 33 seconds. That's probably the strongest booking Matt Hardy's ever received.
You wait till I talk about 2009 later on. But you've also got Glamorella. Beat Kofi and Mickey for the IC and the Women's Championship. That's 2008. Tell me about 2015, Sam.
2015, you got Seth and Cena, which is really good until Jon Stewart.
The main event is ruined by Jon Stewart.
Well, it's not the main event. Brock and Taker.
Brock and Taker. The main part of the match is what I'm about to say, sorry.
Brock and Taker is
really
way
good. Better than has any right to be.
Really good. If only that was their match they had at main
event. They then didn't follow up because Undertaker's clearly turning heel.
It's stupid because so basically booking is a bit of a Vince Russo job. Booking ruined the two big matches that were really good in ring-wise.
Yeah.
Because the Brock Taker match was really good, and then you have Taker basically tap out to the Kimura, but the ref didn't see it. Brock relinquishes the hold, but the bell was rang, and the ref's like, no, the match isn't over. Low blow from Taker, which no one's booing him because he's Taker. We're never going to boo Undertaker or
That was the problem. We're now 2015. You're not going to boo Taker in 2015.
No, I really would like to know the story behind that. I'd like to see Undertaker do talk about
they should have podcast. You still could have done Taker as a heel. You still could have done it, and the crowd would have just enjoyed it. But you still could have done Taker as a heel.
Yeah.
But you know what, Sam? There's way more on this show that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
You've got Stephen Amell.
Yeah,
is in that tag team match with Stardust, Cody Rhodes. How crazy is that? New Day are finally crowned.
Yeah,
they got the New Day get crowned. The Women's Evolution happens on this. It's the weird 6-9 person tag.
Yes, all of the women.
three on three. It was weird. Ziggler versus Rusev feud with the Lana and Summer Rae is happening on here. Sam, we've also got you've got Wyatt versus, is it Roman and Dean?
Oh,
that's
is
on
Jericho
here as well?
Involved, or is that Night of Champions?
No, that's Night of Champions.
Right,
so there's a lot going on here. I think it's better than 2008 because 2008 only has the main event.
Yeah.
And as much as you love Glamorella, I think it beats it. So should we go? Unbelievably, your teens are doing very well at the moment.
I wasn't doing well in my teens.
No,
so
but your SummerSlam teens are. I'm unhappy about it. But
Yeah.
2015, I think, is going to go through. 2015 goes through over 2008. Great main event 2008, though. Go watch that. 1999, 2013. Sam, regale me 2013.
Well, you've got Brock Punk, which is
awesome.
Brilliant.
It's unbelievable.
Also, you know what? Daniel Bryan versus John Cena.
Also
in a
awesome.
Really good match.
Also
and
awesome.
The cash-in is awesome. Not unlike 2011, this cash-in does very much work just on its own.
It's a good cash-in.
It's a double turn with Triple H and Randy Orton, a really big moment.
There are other things on this show.
No, exactly. You've got Del Rio and Christian.
I was going to say, that happens, but also we have the Ring of Fire. Kane and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's
There's no such thing as a perfect SummerSlam, is there?
No, that's what we're discovering, really. 99, weird triple threat in the main event where the winner shouldn't have won but had to win because you've got a politician involved.
What else was going on?
Not a lot.
There you go. I think
you've got Test and Shane, Rocky Billy, Billy Gunn's only push. Hi, I'm Billy.
It doesn't matter what, whatever.
And you've also got Big Show and Taker and whatever their stupid name was, beating Kane and X-Pac, whatever their stupid name was. 99's not very good. As we know, the Astro pay-per-views aren't brilliant. So 2013 has two very good matches. The rest aren't. I'm not giving you Alberto Del Rio Christian.
I think it's a really good match.
I'm not giving you it. But they've got two world-class matches, and that's enough to take on not a lot happening in 99. So 2013, another teen going through. This side of the board is the teens. 2000 versus 2010. 2010, Sam, there is one very big thing we need to talk about.
Oh yeah, Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston.
Oh, we need to talk about Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston.
That is actually
really good.
Really good until the next game in a minute, which I kind of liked, but also kind of.
There's Randy Orton, Sheamus, and everyone was there going, "Why are you guys talking? Why are you guys feuding?" And then they have a great match.
They did.
And then you've got Kane versus Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship for some reason.
I was so hyped as a kid when Taker came out of that casket. I was so excited. And then they did the whole angle, oh, he's still kind of ill. Or He's still not quite feeling it. He's not got the power of the Undertaker, and Kane got the upper hand, didn't he? Which is kind of weird, but interesting.
But Sam.
Oh, it's 2000.
Nexus.
Oh,
talk about the Nexus.
I don't want to.
Talk about the Nexus.
Well, it was great until Cena decided to be Cena and DDT
The match
on
was
the
really
concrete.
good.
Really good, really well paced actually.
It was so long and it was so well, and then they just...
And they got Daniel Bryan to the final two.
Yeah.
So that was really good that they gave them that spotlight.
Everything was perfect. Everything. Apart from the ending.
Yeah.
You either had to have them clean sweep in 7-0, or you had to have Cena lose. And Edge and Jericho told him. They told him, and this is when people go about, oh, Cena wouldn't do these sort of things. He did. He used his power. 2000's a weird one, because you've got the main event of Triple H, Rock, and Kurt Angle, and then Triple H and Rock having to talk Kurt Angle through it because he gets concussed from that table spot. Stop getting on those tables. And now, don't do on the tables now. They're way too strong. People get slammed on the table like you're just being slammed on a hard surface.
Yeah, they're sturdy.
Taker and Kane kind of had a really throwaway, boring match that ends with Taker taking Kane's mask off.
Yes. However, Samuel,
there is a couple of matches to talk about on this show.
Do you think?
We've got the Cat versus Terry Runnels in a stink face match, Sam.
I don't think that's what I was going for.
Oh, is it not? Were you going for TLC 1?
The Tender Loving Cat, yes.
Tender Loving Cat. Well, that's what they were with the stink face. TLC 1. You hadn't seen this.
Not properly. I may have seen like a few little highlights, a few little spots, but not really. And literally yesterday, I literally watched it. I know my word. It was actually really cool to watch a TLC match between those three that I hadn't seen before.
Unbelievable.
It's like wild. It's like, oh, I'm seeing new content from these
What
guys.
are the chances of me having to see that?
Yeah.
And also Steve Blackman versus Shane McMahon. Shane taking his dive.
That is one of the most mental bumps in wrestling history.
Can we agree that 2000 beats 2010?
Oh, yes.
2000 beats Nexus. Imagine if Nexus had won that match. What would we have said?
2000 still. 2000.
There it is, 2000. Yeah. As per usual, we always do the left-hand side of the board first and get our finalists before we do the right-hand side. So we're into the last 16. It's 2011, 1997.
Difficult.
Yeah, I don't think either are great. Yeah, I personally think the two, I still think 91 is better than both of these.
Yeah, I think you do.
I think you've made a mistake by eliminating 91.
No mistakes made.
You put 2011 through and 97 isn't great. I said 91 would beat both of these, so therefore 2011 has to go through.
Answer me one question.
Yes.
One simple question.
Yes.
Was Mark Henry on SummerSlam 1999? Was he there? No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He debuted. He did the Rumble 99. He could have been there. Yes.
No, I meant 1991 is what I want about.
No.
Exactly. That's why the decision was made. And therefore, 2011 is still going through because it's Mark Henry Hall.
I might just pick 97 and make you waste a veto, and then you can't pick 2011 ever again.
Veto.
We've not done it yet.
I can't veto the next one because it's a semi anyway.
No, wouldn't that be the quarterfinals of that side of the draw, my darling?
You're so correct in what you're saying.
2011 beats 97. Stone Cold Owen is just sad. It's really sad. 2011 somehow goes through. 2014, 2016. Sam, I'm in your hands here because you've got two of your favourite matches of all time are in this. You've got Brock Cena squash, which you're obsessed with, and AJ versus Cena.
Yes, both fantastic matches. However, these are very kind of largely one-match cards, but I will say 2014... I think we have to just take those big matches out because they kind of cancel each other out.
I disagree. I think Cena and AJ is world class, and I think Brock and Cena is a shocker moment of awe. It's something so different, but I quantify that Cena AJ is better. However, I will concede your point to carry on.
The rest of the 2014 card is better than the rest of the 2016 card.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Brock Orton makes me uncomfortable. Finn and Rollins I hate. So I think I can't put something through if I absolutely hate it. I'm not a fan of 2014 either.
It's not a very stacked SummerSlam.
Have you seen that? You do realise that means we're going to have 2014 versus 2011 to get into the semi-finals?
I didn't book these SummerSlams. Blame WWE for not doing good SummerSlams.
2014 we're going to put through. I can't believe Cena AJ goes out. It just shows you the rest of the card just didn't live up to the hype. 2014. 2002, 2015. Bye 2015. See you later. Bye. You shouldn't have been through in the first place, but you drew 2008. Later. 2013, 2000. Now this is tighter than 2000. Now, in my eyes, you've got the main event of Cena and Bryan is as good as Triple H, Rock, and Angle for different reasons. So they're level. And then you've got your other amazing match of Punk and Brock is as equal in ability level to TLC 1. So we have to put that to the side potentially and look at the rest of the card because I think they might cancel each other out. Tell me more about 2013. You've only got the Ring of Fire, but they've got the Stink Face match. And then on 2000, but they've got Blackman and Shane. Does Blackman and Shane overtake someone like Alberto or Christian?
My instinct is that 2000 wins.
My instinct is 2000.
I love 2013's good matches.
Two of the great. Again, we're going to eliminate some. Arguably, if we did, when we took it, like if we did the greatest matches from SummerSlam history, which we'll do like 1 year, maybe the year after, we'll do a pick the match from the best match, like we did with WrestleMania. We did the best match from each WrestleMania, and then we did brackets. We might do this next year or the year after. Some of the best matches here are going to go out because of the pay-per-view was bad.
It's just very rare that they do a really well-rounded SummerSlam.
SummerSlam
it's quite consistently good across the board. It's always like, we'll do our 2 or 3 angles here.
Well, they've got their build.
And everything else is just, this could be a B pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Like
they haven't built Vince in particular hasn't built the rest of the card.
Whereas they do for Mania, it seems.
They do, yeah.
They're trying to, even if you don't like what they're doing.
SummerSlam has the build of the 2 or 3 big matches, and then they don't know what to do with the rest of the card compared to the other. It's really strange. You literally have 5 months to sort it. Whatever. 2000 is going through to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinal time. 2011, 2014. 2014. Brock and Cena.
I think on balance.
Yeah, I can't stand 2011, and I can't believe it's in the quarterfinals, and you've annoyed me. So we're into the quarterfinals, and 2014 is going to breeze past because of the shock and awe of the Brock and Cena match. I think overtakes anything that happened at 2011. What would you say is 2011's good? The Orton Christian no holds barred?
Yeah. Henry Sheamus and Punk Cena are your 3 big hitters.
What Steph and Brie? I still think is way better than people realise. Yeah,
I wouldn't put it above Henry and Sheamus. But
don't forget, you also got Wyatt versus Chris Jericho out of nowhere in 2014. That's really flat. Yeah. It is flat. I'm going to put 2014 through. I don't think he'll make the final. I think he is just going, thanks.
Yeah.
It beats. What's it beaten so far? 2019, 2016, and 2011. It's had a run.
It has a lovely
It's going to end in about 2 minutes' time. 2002 versus 2000. Oh, we have some big matches here. Now, unbelievably, 2002 has 1 gimmick match in the entire night.
Yeah, you don't.
Which is Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
That's a good number.
However, I regard Triple H and Shawn Michaels as one of the greatest matches ever from a storytelling standpoint to a match standpoint, and the emotion going into it. And as a child watching it, believing kayfabe at the time, as I did because I was still only 10. Shawn Michaels, but I never heard of Shawn Michaels. I never knew who he was. And the selling of the back was unbelievable. Every spot they did, Charlotte kept going for roll-ups and then eventually won with the roll-ups. Triple H then attacked him with the sledgehammer afterwards. That's brilliant. Brock and Rock have unbelievable chemistry. I cannot believe how good they were.
It's such a shame they never wrestled again.
Yeah. Brock being in the main event only 5 months after debuting and proving he was a main eventer. And he wasn't carried. He didn't look carried to me.
Not at all.
And then obviously one of the best openers to a pay-per-view of all time, showing that you only need 9 minutes. I think this is 2002 because I think if you quantified it, Shawn Michaels, try it again. Triple H is the word I was looking for.
Well,
Rock and Angle's main event doesn't quantify next to Brock and Rock's at all. And then you've got TLC 1 versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Let's put them on equal footing for now. So that's still 1-0. And then you've got Blackman and Shane. Is that better than you want to watch Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio? I think I'd rather watch Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. You want to watch Shane's fall.
Yeah.
So I think 2002 does nip it. This is closer than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah, this is 2 of the biggest hitters.
These are huge. 2000's great.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to have a stink face match on the card, you're going to lose to Edge and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
2002, going through to the semi-final. 2014 versus 2002.
Veto! No.
It's 2000. You can't. It's semi-final.
I wouldn't anyway.
It's 2002. It's just way better than 2014. Well done, 2014. For getting this far.
Participation award.
Participation goes to the semi-finals.
They participated a lot.
They did.
Yeah, exactly.
More than participation awards.
Extra participation.
I'd give the participation awards at 1988.
Did they really participate?
They've already gone home with a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
You get when you finish a kid's party, you get like a little party bag.
Yeah.
They're one of the kids who turned up started crying, and the mum had to pick them up, and they got given the bag anyway.
Yeah.
2002 is going to be our first finalist. Our first match of the right-hand side of the draw is we're starting off strong with 2004 versus 1998. Sam, let me talk you through 2004.
Go on.
Oh my God, what a terrible show.
You hate this time. Like, mid-2004 WWE is not your cup of tea.
I'm getting confused as a wrestling fan because I am 12, turning 13, and I'm like, I like wrestling. But I don't like this. And you don't know what to do because you're still young enough to I like wrestling, I love wrestling. But something is telling you something's wrong, something's off. Because even though you might know it's not real, you don't know the backstage stuff yet, you don't know how it works. And because I started looking up like the results and things happening probably about now, actually. I'm about 4 or 5 months in, because I definitely remember having JBL and Big Show's steel cage barbed wire match being given away a month before it happened. Yeah, unbelievably.
How did you do that?
Googling, and you find the spreadsheet, and they said they're going to have at No Way Out this match, and it's at the Royal Rumble. It got announced, so I knew like 2 months prior. So that's what you got. Eugene, Triple H, not great. Angle and Eddie have a great one. Angle gets his win back, very similar to the WrestleMania match about the boot. That's really good. Kane versus Matt Hardy in a Death Do Us Part match.
Oh.
You've got Edge getting booed by his own fans. Which we watched back, and they've either doctored it so he doesn't get booed, or it's not as loud as we thought. I think it's been doctored.
A little bit, yeah.
98, though, isn't amazing, to be honest, but you've got Triple H versus Rock's ladder match for the IC title. Austin versus Taker, where Austin gets, like, concussed really quickly into match. You know, Taker does his,
he kind of goes up like that.
Knocks
That's
him,
that one.
Yes, it is.
That actually happened to me, and I was in a jiu-jitsu roll, and that happened to me.
Yes.
I didn't get crushed or anything.
It hurts.
Yeah, my jaw, but it's nasty, yeah.
I'll also throw out, you've also got Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart in the Lion's Den match happens on this show.
Ooh.
So can I put 98 through so I can forget that 2004 ever happened?
I think it's fair, and I think you want some more 90s representation.
Yes! But in this, you got rid of the best one, one of the better ones early in the first round. You got rid of probably the best SummerSlam.
That's
from the
what
90s.
I do. Mark
From
Henry.
2011.
He's the world's strongest man.
Oh, it still hurts me that you got rid of
He's
it.
the world's strongest man.
I actually think it would have made the semi.
He's the world's strongest man, and that means he's stronger than you.
Oh, we would have made the semi-final, and we would have had a really good conversation about 2002. 98 goes through. 2007 versus 2023. Sam, talk me through 2023.
Oh, I don't want to. It's okay. Oh, you've got Roman and Jay in a really good storyline.
And they absolutely... Jay Uso in a main event before he'd even learnt to be a single star yet, and he didn't learn very quickly.
He didn't.
Do not do well. This match is bad.
And with someone like Roman, who's usually slow anyway, needs a good partner like a Cody to work. This was really bad. And also, I'm not being funny booking-wise, a stupid ending. People forget about, actually, the fact that Jimmy was the one who initially turned on Roman, and Jay joined Jimmy because he was inspired by his brother to do it. And then, for no real reason that was explained, Jimmy just cost Jay the match for the sake of drama.
And they
because
kind
they
of ignored it anyway, all the way until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not great. What else happens
really
on the
bad.
card? What else happens on the card, Sam?
Oh, it's a good question, you know. Do we have the World Championship now, don't we?
Mm-hmm. So, it is Seth versus Balor, yes. Gunther Drew don't have a good match.
No, surprisingly.
Cody Brock,
good.
Have a decent-ish match.
I was never that high on the Brock Cody stuff. I never thought it was amazing.
It made no sense. They never explained
it. No, exactly. So that was always a big asterisk with the story, because what is the story? But you've not told us. And then even the matches, I thought, were never like the level of a Brock Punk or Brock Styles, even though
they were good. They were like 3.5 stars type
I was
match.
thinking 4.5 they were going to be, you know.
You had Logan Paul Ricochet. That didn't work.
It was
Io Sky cashed in. Happened on the night. I'll also tell you though, Sam, in 2007, this is not good.
Oh, no, I agree.
That's 2007's worst.
No, I know.
It's Triple H's return, and he returns against King Booker because the King of Kings, and that's Booker T's last match in WWE for 4 years.
Wow.
He leaves pretty much the next night.
Triple H,
the Great Khali is once again going for a world title.
Yeah. We
also get Cena Orton, and you know how much I love a Cena Orton match.
Should we just put 2023?
2023 is actually way better.
Yeah.
2023 is going through to the next one. 2018, 2001. Sam, 2001 is a time of invasion.
Yeah.
It's a time when I am 2 months off watching.
Right.
That's how close I am. And we've got Rock Booker T. Oh, that's Booker T's at Run Over. There we go. Who just wins the world title unnecessarily. Angle and Austin have their SummerSlam match. It's a DQ. And Taker and Kane versus DDP and Kanyon in one of the worst booking disaster storyline matches of all time. But we do get RVD and Jeff in a ladder.
Sure, that's cool.
Yeah.
2018, Sam. It's not a nice place to be for anyone.
Dark time.
It's a dark time.
See, that shadowy place.
Yes.
Since 2018.
We never go there.
Yes. But we're going there now. Tell me about 2018, Sam.
Oh, Brock Roman.
Again.
You're making
it's a dark time. I thought you'd be a druid.
Yeah. It's bad, guys. It's really bad. Brock Roman. Roman
for the umpteenth time
wins, and Brock hits Strowman with a handbag.
like an old
It
granny.
literally is.
Get away from my
Get away! Get away! That was the big main event angle. You've got Lynch turning on Charlotte Flair, which was great, but
in a heel
unintentionally.
turn behind a heel turn behind a babyface turn.
Big Show would have loved it. Yeah, it was good, but not for the right reasons. Then you had Styles facing someone, Sam.
Yeah.
He faced someone here.
Who are you picking over these? Because I think 2001
It's obvious
still
to me.
wins, but it's not a great show.
It's so one, it's got to be.
01 goes through, but not great.
Rating's
It's
bad.
Not great. 2005 versus 2021. Sam, 2021's a mess of a
Isn't it?
pay-per-view.
It's got a good main event. Brock returns at the end, which is really exciting.
But the problem with Roman Cena is, do you remember what the stipulation was? If Roman lost, he would have left WWE.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why would you do
You've
that?
given away the result.
Why would you give away? I mean, it was kind of obvious anyway.
You don't just come back.
What? Why would that be a thing?
Because exactly.
Why
Vince.
We're not in the 80s where we think that would happen.
Vince, man.
What?
But there's so many. You got Lynch's return, but beats Bianca in 26 seconds, and people were not happy.
No.
And Bianca wasn't happy backstage. She was crying backstage because she thought that was her push over. Calm down, Bianca, love.
Like,
At least wait until your push is over. We start crying about your push. And Lynch came over and went, "Don't worry, I'll look after you." You didn't need to. You've just been champion for 5 months after the main event of WrestleMania. Do you really think you were just going to lose? There's a storyline, guys. Even for Vince, this was a storyline. Lashley Goldberg.
randomly, I didn't know that this
You
film.
can't remember this.
No, that's a bad sign. A cool kind of match idea.
Jinder Mahal has a match with Drew McIntyre.
Where was Heath Slater?
What was
The
going
best
on?
member theory.
How
No.
is this?
So we've got Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie on this show.
4 minutes, absolutely craps the bed.
Yeah, well, it's Eva Marie.
However, 2005, also not a great show. Main evented famously by Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan, and you've got a very angry Shawn Michaels overselling everything.
Yeah.
Cena versus Jericho in the most obvious, like, who's going to win match
Then you had
ever.
Batista Triple H, yeah?
Nope, you had Batista versus JBL for the title. After Batista had been moved to the other
What's
show.
Triple H doing?
Not a lot.
Right.
Not a lot.
Oh, this is a rock and a hard place, isn't it?
This is a bad show and a bad show. I think I'm hedging towards 2021 because the main event was really good. And as much as Shawn Michaels was funny, it's a stupid, silly thing.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't think
It's
I can
not
pick
good.
it.
Yeah.
So I personally am going to shade and go with 2021.
Yeah, okay. We'll just feed that to 2001, shall
We will feed. Oh, I don't think that's a good show either.
Yeah.
Oh God, this top half of the draw's a mess. The top half, the right hand side of the top. 2021, 2012 versus 2009. Sam, I have zero memory of either of these shows. Help.
09, you've got Jeff Punk in the main event.
Right. Yes. Great.
Cena Orton, obviously, because it's
2009.
So obviously, I think that was a DQ as well, if I'm not mistaken. It could be
Oh,
wrong.
I do know one thing from 2009.
Go on.
Christian versus William Regals for the ECW title. Sam, how long did it go?
2 minutes.
8 seconds.
Hey. Oh, wow.
Back-to-back ECW titles, 33 and 8 seconds. That's what. The only reason I know about that show is because I know about the ECW title.
Wow. Okay. What else is going on in 09? Ray's probably doing something. What's Jericho doing? He's good at this point, isn't he?
We've got Jericho. That must be Jericho's debut, surely.
Oh, Big Show comes in and ruins everything.
Ray and Ziggler are in their feud in 2009. Is that at SummerSlam?
It probably
Must
is,
be.
isn't it? Yeah.
What's happening in 2012? Because all I remember is Brock and
Brock
Triple
and
H
Triple
having
H.
one of the worst main events
You got
of all
Punk,
time.
who's just turned heel against John Cena and Big Show. He
Not main
retains that.
eventing.
No, obviously. 2012, Sheamus.
Bryan and Kane in their first match that then led to Bryan and Kane. Match isn't great, but it's Bryan
Good
and Kane.
story.
This is 2009, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
2009, because there's nothing about 2012. It's a vacant show. 1992 versus 1993. Sam, let me regale you 1993.
Please regale me.
The main event was Yokozuna versus Lex Luger. Lex won by count out and got confetti and balloons.
No, I know. Very well.
Just give him the title! Even if you didn't believe him, even if you thought he was rubbish, give him the title and just have him lose the next. It didn't matter. If you had streamers and balloons, you were believing he was going to win. No one was there going, yeah, he had to celebrate as not the champion. It's one of the
so
dumbest ideas ever.
Yeah.
But you know what's another dumber idea? Having Taker versus Gonzalez having a rematch from WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, no. And you know what?
It all gets worse. Brett versus the King, but they didn't have that match. Brett had to take on Doink because King was trying to get away from it. So Brett then took on King after Brett beat Doink. He had him in the sharpshooter, wouldn't release it for ages, way too long. So then the reverse decision and King got the win. This pay-per-view is bad.
92's in Wembley. I think that's enough to send it through.
The main event wins all of these just on its own before you even think about anything else. And there isn't a lot else to think about. But yeah, I'm going 92 for obvious reasons. We're going modern for modern. 2022, which got through a pre-show, versus 2024, the last one. 2024 was a weird one. It was a good show that had a flat ending. Cody versus Solo. Solo was not ready to a main event of pay-per-view.
Ironically.
Can we talk about Triple H? I always worry about Triple H going for WrestleMania. Before WrestleMania, he had to earn the WrestleMania main event. You have to earn it. Solo Sikoa been in 2 main events on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And you're like...
I don't even know how I don't think Solo ever won a number 1 contenders match.
No, he just came out, walked past Cody, and that was enough for him to go for SummerSlam. But they put it in the main event because Roman had to return. So that had to main event. Yeah. And I want to know if that would have main evented if Roman was returning.
What was the world title match?
Gunther and Priest with Finn's turn.
That's never main eventing either.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, it wasn't great. Like
Drew and Punk didn't have a good match compared to the other two.
Seth made it about Seth.
Yeah.
It really was. That's easily their 3rd best match.
Breaker beat Sammy for the IC title.
That was still decent.
Liv and Rhea's turn, Dom turn.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That was one of the highlights of the show because it was a big moment of story and it was a big twist. It got a big crowd reaction. It was talked about. 2022, all I remember was Brock, the forklift with Roman.
Not a forklift, it's a tractor. So, but I honestly told you to watch this match because I was telling you, because you'd kind of given up here.
I was in and out.
And I told you, Vince is gone, Triple H is taking over, and you went, it won't change. And I went, Sam, watch this pay-per-view, everything changed. Overnight. Yeah. We didn't expect it to be overnight. I was telling you, and I was like, Sam, overnight, there's a tractor in the ring. I said, Brock and Roman have a good match, Sam. Go and watch it. But we've also got the debut of Damage Control after Bianca and Becky. Good match. Really, really good match. Usos versus The Prophet, who was the special guest referee.
Oh, what was it? No, it wasn't Jesse Ventura, was it?
No, it was Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, close enough.
Liv and Ronda.
Move on.
We'll forget that happened.
Yeah.
But we have to Pat McAfee versus Baron Corbin.
Move on again.
Logan Paul, The Miz. The only time Logan Paul was a babyface.
Yeah, how that will work against The Miz.
And Mysterios versus Judgment Day.
Mysterious, yes. I would probably edge 2023 because it was quite an iconic show because it was changing of the guard. It was like, that is quite a definitive moment of a new...
Everyone was so excited, and I think Triple H knocked it out of the park. I'm going to go 2022 quite comfortably, you agree?
Yeah.
2022 beats 2024 because mainly they had Solo Sikoa in the main event.
I'm getting a sickly feeling in my mouth.
2017 versus 2020.
What happened in 2020? Because I genuinely have
Fiend versus Strowman. Mandy versus Sonya in the losers lead. And this is just after Sonya's had the stalker happen to her in real life.
Right.
And she wasn't going to do this match. And then she came and went, no, I'm going to do this match. I'll show that it won't make a difference and then I'll get to go leave. And then I'm going to have Sonya win. And Mandy was like, but you're leaving. Yeah. And they got it changed. It was meant to be losing a haircut match. It was meant to be hair versus hair. Yeah, I know. It really was a bit random. Yeah. But you've also got Drew and Randy. It happens here. The Rollins versus Dom in a street fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Dominic's still babyface.
Yes, so he is.
That's basically a different wrestler.
20 minutes it went.
Fair dues, Dominic.
And Asuka Banks. Asuka versus Banks, which is obviously really, really, really good. Sam, 2017.
Oh, God. Jinder Nakamura.
We had Jinder Nakamura.
But that 4-way main event, Sam.
But Sam, you've got Enzo Amore in the shark cage. You've got Cena versus Corbin. You've got AJ versus Owens, but Shane McMahon is the referee.
No.
How about Randy Orton Rusev?
Don't want to do this video anymore.
How about Sasha versus Bliss?
Don't want to do it anymore.
I'm going to put through 2017 because 2022 is...
Owens Styles?
With Shane as the referee.
Well, it looks good on paper.
But Shane is the referee and it ruins the match.
What on paper, Sam?
Jinder Nakamura.
I'll go back in here.
I'm going to put 2017 through. It can lose to 2022. What we've discovered about SummerSlams is they're not that great. 1998 versus 2023?
Those are my thoughts there, what I've just articulated.
I think it's 1998.
I think it's 98 as well. Is that where The Rock and Triple H had the ladder match?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give that.
That's such a good match, and I don't think any match kind of competes with it. And then I reckon everything's probably roundabout even. And also the main event of Roman J is so bad that it ruined. It dragged down the whole show, even though people were kind of excited for the year.
Really good story.
And they had some good matches. They're good matches. You're always going to have better matches later on, but I think 98's that the main event's good as well. Undertaker Stone Cold is actually good, which helps. So I'm going to go with 98. 2001 versus 2021. You were trying to feed 2021 because it wasn't a great show, apart from the main event. But you fed it to 2001, and 2001 went, I can't do it.
It hasn't got a big stomach.
I'm not doing it. I look at these two and I just go, I don't want to watch either of you.
No.
I don't know.
I think the novelty of having the invasion is kind of cool.
It's dead by this point.
No, I know. I'm just trying to be
I'm
nice.
going to give RVD and Jeff. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's RVD and Jeff.
RVD and Jeff had such a great match that I think that's better than anything that happened at 2021. Because quite frankly,
Seth, you've got, but
that wasn't great either.
no, it should have been better, really.
No, that
You'd
just
thought
that didn't
Fred and
work.
Seth,
That
yeah.
didn't work. Well, we're going 2001 anyway because Jeff Hardy does ladder things. 2009 versus 1992. Let's actually have a talk about it a bit at Wembley, Sam, because we haven't had to talk about it. Have you ever actually sat down and watched the Wembley show?
No.
So, Brett and Bulldog have an amazing match, even though Bulldog is completely off his tits and doesn't remember anything from the night before. So, Brett leads him through a match. And I'm not a fan of Brett. But I'm not going to be saying Brett's rubbish. Brett is immaculate in the ring. And Brett, if you ever want someone to lead, Brett is who I'm... I don't think there's anyone else I would ask to lead me.
Yeah.
If I was a nobody, if I was rubbish...
If you had to now, as you are, wrestle a match in front of like a few thousand people, you pick any wrestler from any time
in
anywhere.
their prime, I'd pick Brett, I think. And I can't believe I'm giving Brett that much praise. I don't think there's anyone else I would pick who would happily lead me through a match, and it not be rubbish or bad. Maybe Macho, because he lays it out so much the night before. But
AJ would just bounce off of me even though he's bigger than me.
AJ would run around, so,
Shawn. But I think Brett's a very
You've also
strong
got Shawn Michaels in probably his best singles run at this point because he hadn't got it. When people talk about Jey Uso and go, he's rubbish in singles, I went, go watch Shawn Michaels in his opening year. He's not great. He's being led. But he had a great sort of...
Shawn, in his first year, wasn't going to the main event.
No, agree. That is the difference. The only difference was that Jay broke up in the main event.
No, I get it.
I know as much as you're right, you're also wrong at the same time because... Right. Jay couldn't then go...
No, I know.
Jay couldn't go down to the second match of the card.
That wasn't the point
I know, but my point is Jay couldn't go and work in the second match of the card.
There's being up in the main event and there's also winning the Rumble, but this is a different conversation.
So Shawn takes on Rick Martel and Sherry is trying to get the affection of both men.
Sure.
And the rules were they couldn't hit each other in the face because they're so pretty. But they do this thing where Sherry pretends to pass out and they start carrying her, but they keep trying to beat each other up and she takes some absolutely horrific falls because she's trying to be like, I'm dead.
Limp.
And they're carrying her and she gets launched. Oh, Sherry took one for the team and she wasn't wearing a lot either because that was obviously her gimmick type thing. LOD take on, I think it's the Natural Disasters, I think, for the tag titles. And when did you get the tag titles? They won them on a house show. And this match is famous because of Hawk. We're talking about Davey Boy being off his face. Hawk's still off his face.
No, it was a time.
Doesn't know where he is. He's in the way of Animal. He then literally doesn't get on the plane home, stays in England. Carries on. This is the end of the LOD at this point.
So this is basically like Jeff against Sting, Victory Road level, but it's just less noticeable.
Oh, it's really... Yeah, well, and they still got over. I can't remember who they faced. I actually don't think it's the Natural Disasters.
It was a wild
But
time.
we also get this weird match. Ultimate Warrior versus Savage for the world title. And Ric Flair's involved. Because Ric Flair is saying that one of them is siding with me and, I'm perfect. And they couldn't work out who it was. But it's clearly neither of them. And they just ruined what is a really good match. 92 isn't that great. However, it's way better than 2009.
Yeah.
As much as I love an 8-second match between Christian and William Regal, Jeff cannot do it alone. DX versus Legacy, I do not give a damn. So let's go for all the people who are off their tits. Should we give it for them?
Yeah.
1992.
Have a good time, lads.
Yeah, having a great time. You enjoy England. We got it in 92.
Yeah.
We were a strong time, 92.
Oh, exactly.
Crime wasn't really paying. 92 goes through. 2022 versus 2017, 2022.
Yeah.
We've discovered this side of the draw is awful, and we've discovered that SummerSlam isn't very great, because this is the quarterfinals of the other side. 1998 versus 2001.
Oh, how is 1998 getting this far?
Because 2001's rubbish.
No, that's what I mean, but I think it wins.
98 wins. You do have The Rock versus Triple H, one of the best ladder matches. Taker Stone Cold's really good.
Fine.
Lion's Den's good. That's way better than anything 2001 have outside of RVD and Jeff and a ladder. I refuse for 2001 to go further because of that tag team cage match with The Undertaker and Kane.
I want to
and
veto
DDP and Kane.
I really want to veto
Don't you dare, because you know that match gives me too much rage inducing.
I know.
Because Vince ruined, and The Undertaker, it's him too, ruined DDP. He literally, a man who went, I will not sit at home and get paid by Time Warner. I will cut my loss, make a massive loss, and I'll come and work for you straight away. Gets a huge reaction, even though he's meant to be the heel stalking people, and Vince doesn't go, hang on, let's put our ego aside and book this man. I hate it. 98.
Have you seen the podcast he done with Undertaker?
No,
They've
I
done a
haven't.
podcast and basically talked about it. Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting conversation, and DDP kind of regrets going, because Kevin Nash basically advised him, stay at WCW, you'll still get to go to WWE, but there's money here, just have it, you know what I mean? And he warned him against, because DDP didn't know at the time, but he had loads of heat just because he was from WCW. It's so stupid.
He was also calling himself the People's Champion.
Yeah, but you're in a different promotion, like, you know, it's fine. Like, you know, but wrestlers.
98 beats 2001, because 2001 is the invasion, and the pay-per-views aren't that great, outside of anything RVD's doing. 1992 versus 2022. Turns out all the best were on that side. 2003 probably could have made the final here.
Easily
And he got knocked down.
2000 could have made the final.
Knocked down the first round.
Yeah.
And you got rid of 91, which I thought was better for 2011. I blame you for this video.
Well, don't blame me for this side of the jokes.
92 versus 2022. I personally think Triple H's first pay-per-view is brilliant.
Yeah, I think
I think 1992 is more famous, but I think if you quantify them, put them side by side, 2022 wins out here.
Yeah, easily for me.
Yep, I think we're going to say it. 2022 beats out 92. However, thank you, Brett, for leading Davey Boy and giving people from the North a great win. And they didn't capitalise it because he lost the title really quickly, I think, to Shawn Michaels. The semi-final to take on and lose to the 1998 versus 2022.
This is a second place playoff.
We are. I'm not saying we're giving away the result here, but who do we decide is going to lose? Does it even matter? Should we just do this?
2022? Yeah.
There we go, 2022! Let's do it properly. I actually think it is better.
It's better.
I think Brock and Roman have a phenomenal match.
A match unlike any other.
It ends in the way I don't like, which is to bury opponent in last man standing. But the tractum is so amazing. It's one incredible spot. Becky and Bianca have a great match with their incredible debut, and everyone went, "Okay, this is happening. We are going incredible." And I think when you've got things like that, when people go, "This is going to be something," you can't.
There was an energy around it.
There was an energy. There was a buzz, and Triple H delivered on that buzz. So, as much as I've actually enjoyed talking about 1998, I wasn't expecting to talk about it so much. 1998, well done. Go watch the Rock versus Triple H in ladder match. It is a great example of two people you wouldn't think would be great in a ladder match, and young, trying to really push themselves, and they nail it out of the park. And Undertaker, Stone Cold, even with a concussion happening really early, is really, really, really good. So, 2022 is going through to lose in the final. It's the final. It's 2002 versus 2022. Sam, why is 2002, even though you weren't born, why is it so brilliant?
I'll tell you why, Sam, because it has more great matches than the right side of the draw combined, I feel.
It feels that
close.
But let's talk about the actual show. What is it about the show? Because let's be honest, WWE at this moment are on a massive downturn. Austin is gone.
Yeah.
Rock is leaving after this night. They haven't crowned a new star yet, which is what this show does. So going into it, the build to it, take away Triple H, Shawn Michaels, which even though the build is amazing, the promo for it is incredible, the build to that's not exactly amazing either, technically. None of the matches are going in with great build, almost exclusively across the board. They are all, I'll go through all of them. You've got, so Benoit versus RVD for the IC title, and that's only happened because RVD lost the title to Benoit, and then Benoit got drafted to SmackDown. So essentially this is like Raw's last chance to win the IC title. So it's just a rematch. Edge and Eddie, just because they're having a feud on SmackDown, because of they weren't feuding over anything. Flair and Jericho debuted, and I think he clattered Flair with a chair, and then that was it. Jericho's now feuding with, and that was his debut, and that was it. There was nothing happening there. Angle and Ray, that's just solely because Ray debuted, and Angle was like kind of a bit jealous. Undertaker was American, trying to defend the un-Americans. Booker T and Goldust had won a number one contenders match. Triple H and HBK, obviously. And then Brock won King of the Ring to take on The Rock.
Yes, but
so there's nothing there.
No, the way Brock had been built was really good.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. But I meant the story between themselves because they actually barely interacted. The whole time they barely interacted. I thought Rock was dealing more with Triple H at the time, which they then went, "We'll do a heavyweight champion instead." So what was it about 2002?
2002, you have a great deal of variety in terms of your different matches that are really good.
They paired so many good pairs up together.
Yes, and if you look at the roster that you've got Angle, Mysterio, Brock, Rock, Shawn Michaels just coming back really helps.
Which was so exciting.
Really good timing for their star power when you're losing Austin and The Rock as well. And then, I said Lesnar, you've got Eddie, Edge,
young people.
Triple H still, is pretty good.
Booker T and Goldust are at their kind of hottest as a tag team. The Un-Americans are really over his heels.
Ben Wyatt at that time was very, very good. RVD, you know what I mean?
It's a great roster.
And they used it.
And they paired
used
them.
It. And they paired them with really good people that made sense.
They did put a women's match on the card, but...
No, that's kind of by the by.
Could you imagine if you had TLC 1 on this show?
I'd be as good as some of the best Manias.
That's what I was thinking. I think they were missing like a spot fest, like a spot fest.
Yeah, but
so really put it over the edge.
I think you've got a great mixer because you've got the Attitude Era, which is all about storytelling, but the in-ring work's lacking. This is just coming into the ruthless regression where you've still got the great story and the really good fundamentals of psychology, but you've also got increasingly brilliant athleticism, which you're about to see going into kind of the next 12 months. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful pay-per-view. It just is the best SummerSlam.
It's an easy watch as well.
Oh, exactly.
I think, and when we say easy watch, we're not talking the first time you watch it because you know what's going to happen. So every pay-per-view is exciting because you know what's going to happen. But it's the idea of if you watched it again, could you get through it comfortably without having to take a pause? Because it's boring watching old wrestling sometimes. It can be really boring. Even if it's great, this isn't. This is never boring. I think I've watched this pay-per-view more than any other pay-per-view that wasn't the Rumble or Mania.
And crucially, I don't think any match goes on too long.
They all are timed perfectly.
And fair dues to the producers and the agents. They really get the matches right.
Yeah, they do.
And you built a new star in Brock, and that's always great. And also, it's not a star that we were kind of it's like Rowan back in the day, where we didn't, or Cena even back in the day, where people didn't really want them. Everyone was bought on Brock because he's Brock and he's awesome. And
when you push someone over down your throat and they win everything, people usually go, but then they looked at it and went, no. This is why. Like when people were chanting Goldberg at Ryback, that's because he was rubbish in reality, and they just did the exact same thing, which was squash people. Brock had matches,
and he was a heel, so it's not like it's forced down your throat with someone to cheer.
But even if it is forced down your throat as a heel, Brock was having matches. He wasn't having squash matches and just constantly there going, look, I'm dominating. Brock was having matches with the Hardys, with RVD, with... oh my God, his Magic King of the Ring with Test. Test, a man who clearly is going, well, you're taking what is normally my spot, clearly. Though we got to face the Undertaker here at SummerSlam. And they just kick and lumps out of each other. Oh my God, the big boot he took is definitely, I'm going to kick you in the face.
Yeah. And Brock couldn't take it.
And Brock did take it. It was phenomenal. This pay-per-view is excellent. 2022. Well done for making the final.
Oh, yes.
I think the fact that it was the changing of the guard was a wonderful time, and it was really exciting. Watching that pay-per-view, I'm so excited. It brought me back to wrestling.
Yeah.
It really did, because I was waning after COVID, and I hadn't come back really in terms of watching.
When Vince is still in charge, you just go...
I was keeping up to date is where I was at, but I wasn't like watching. I started watching here at this moment. This is when I started watching. And it was brilliant. But our winner for Best SummerSlam Pay-Per-View comes to no surprise. You all pretty much knew probably going into it. It's probably the most cut and shut we have ever had as a bracket. SummerSlam 2002 is the greatest SummerSlam of all time. But will SummerSlam 2025 beat it? Will there be a SummerSlam in the future that will top 2002? Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment what other brackets you would like us to do in the future, and we will see you next time. Au revoir, bye-bye. Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle. 9 minutes. Don't need 20.
Best 9 minutes of my life.
I believe that.